Hi guys, welcome back to this channel, and it's been a journey yet we're here. So in this video I'm gonna talk about the control statement, if statement in if else statement in Python, and we'll start by looking at the basic syntax and then look at what we can do with the if statements, a little bit overview, and maybe do a few exercises on the same. So I'll start by instantiating some variables here. Let's say we want to use two variables. Let me say a is maybe 3, and then b is 2. Now we want to confirm if maybe a is greater than b using an if statement. Okay, so to do that, we'll start by if. Then we say if a is greater than b, right? What do we do? Let's say we want to print saying a is greater than b, right? And let's see. First, let me start by running that. We see if we get it right. So what we are getting here, the result is a is greater than b. It has printed that. But what if a is not greater than b? Let me say a is 1. Let's see what it will do. It does nothing. If you try to run this code, it does nothing. The reason why it does nothing, because it is a condition. We've only given this statement a condition to only print whatever we have written here if only a is greater than b. So if I bring this back and say now a is now greater than b from what we are seeing, and then try and print that, it will print. But how do we incorporate cases whereby a can be less or equal to b? To do that, we'll have to add the else statement by saying let us print. So whatever we are going to print here will only be printed if the first statement is false. So we say a is not greater than b. Okay, so let me say we take back our a to be 1, and then if I try and run this now, you see it is going to print a is not greater than b. It has printed the second statement because the first statement is false. But we can incorporate more statements through something we call elif. So you might want maybe to also check maybe if a is equal to b, if a is less than b, and then you print. And to do that, let me introduce elif. Okay, elif, you can use a bunch of elifs to satisfy whatever you want to do with it. So we're going to say elif a, let me say it's equal to b. Okay, then what do we want to print? Want to print a is equal to b, something like that. So let's see what we will get when a is equal to b. What is going to be printed? Now let's run that code. You see, it's not going to print a is equal to b, because in all these statements only this one is correct. Python has checked that a and b are equal, and it has to print this. So we can also add another one here that can check maybe when a is less than b. You can have all those scenarios, and then want to print and say a is less than b, okay. So let's try and run. Oh, it is saying A is equal to B because that. So let us make a situation whereby A is less than B and see which statement it's going to pick. Yeah, saying A less than B. So guys, that is how you can use a couple of elif statements with in between the if else statement to satisfy uh, whatever maybe uh, want you need or need. And now what if maybe we want to, you can use, let's say I give an example here of math, or how you can do math. So if I delete this first and then clear here, we use the if else statements on confirming something to do with remainders or divisibility. So we want to get input from the user. I can say maybe this can be any value. Let me just give it any value, and whatever you're getting is the input from the user. So we want the user to input a number, right? Want the user to input a number there. But remember, there's one thing you need to understand. Well, automatically, when you're getting the user input, Python assumes it to be a character value. So, but because here we want the user input to be a number or an integer value, we need to convert. We need to convert whatever the input is going to be into an integer value. Okay. So once we have done that, what we have done there is we have done two things. We are getting the user input, and we're also converting whatever the user is inputting into an integer value. Now let me say if now one now to test maybe divisible by 2. So we want to say if the value that whatever the user has done, if the value %2, the value %2 equals to 0. I'll explain in a moment what this means. What this means, this is just getting me back the this is a remainder. It's giving me a result. So whatever number that doesn't when it is divisible by 2 and it's not equal to 0, then that means it is not divisible by 2. A good example, let me quickly just print something here first. Print. So first let me finish this statement, then we print something. So we want to test if the value, whatever value we are saying, is divisible by 2. So if the value is divisible by 2, what do we want to say? We can say maybe it is divisible by 2, right? So quickly let me cut this, but I'm getting back to that to show you what percent can do. So let me say we have 20% 5, and we run that. It will give us 0. Why? Because 20 divided by 5, it is 4, it returns nothing. But if we get 21% 5, it will give us 1, because 21 divided by 5, it is 4, the remainder being 1. So if we run that, it's going to return 1. Now I believe you have understood the concept of what we are trying to do here. Good. So we are testing if the value that the user is giving us is divisible by 2. So if it is divisible by 2, this one will that statement will be executed. So else, if it is not divisible by 2, we can say print it is not divisible by 2. Okay. So good. Let us run this code now. So we want to input a number. So we say maybe we can say 10. It is saying it is divisible by 2. So what if we want to put another number that is not divisible by 2? We can say maybe 15. We say it is not divisible by 2, right? Because this one doesn't, the remainder is not 0, meaning that value is not divisible by 2. We can test, let's say, even 2 and see what it says. I want to input a number. There it is. It is divisible by 2. So this is a small program that we have used here to illustrate the if else statement. So guys, you can practice. You can even test the type of the value, the character type. You can test for the length of the characters or the values you have. You can play along and try to come up with something. You can even go and practice and build a calculator, simple calculator from the if else statement. So guys, this is it for now. Remember, practice makes perfect. So, and if you are joining us, kindly you can watch the previous video to catch up, and also remember to subscribe, like and share, and let us make this channel engaging. For now, bye.